Russell Wilson is doing bad. Russell Wilson is doing, I mean, he's not good right now. And we watched him. I know everybody watched him Monday night against Washington. I'm pretty sure most of y'all watched him. I think the one thing that kind of concerned me a little bit was no matter how bad he was, and he was bad in that game, and he's been bad over these last few weeks and coming back from that finger injury. But no matter how bad he is, he still put them in position to potentially win the game. And that's the one thing that scares me when it comes to Russell Wilson. Like, how? How do you go through all that? How'd you, and then still have a chance? And that scares me. But if the 49ers are going to like stick a fork in them once and for all, this is the time to do it. This is the time. You have them spin out of control. I mean, the turmoil around the Seahawks organization right now is crazy. There's John, they got the Snyder, right? That's the GM, right? John Snyder, I believe. I don't know why that doesn't sound right. Let's see. But you have the general manager, you got Pete Carroll, you know what I'm saying? Like, and people, let me see, John Snyder. Who's John Snyder? I don't know why that. Let's see, Snyder, Seahawks. Yeah, John Schneider. Schneider. All right, so he's the GM. So you got John Schneider. All right, you got Pete Carroll. There's turmoil there. And people are thinking that there's a potential opportunity for the Seahawks to clean house. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that we'd see the day right now that the Seahawks would potentially clean house? And if they lose a few more games in a row, I mean, this is a chance to blow this whole thing up. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad at it. I hope it happens. Blow the Seahawks up. Blow them up. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson have been a thorn in the 49ers side for a decade. A decade. I'm terrified every time. I've told y'all, like, man, I'm scared of Michael Myers. I don't know why I'm scared of Michael Myers, but I'm just scared of Michael Myers. All right. Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson, they've been Michael Myers to me. And I think this is the one time where the 49ers, like, they're down. They're down. And I felt like they were down in that first game, and we just didn't. The 49ers in that first game against Seahawks, 5 straight 3-and-outs forced by the defense. 5 straight 3-and-outs forced by the defense. And the offense didn't put their foot on their throats. And then you bring in a rookie who had no playing experience and was not prepared to play in that game. That's the only reason why the Seahawks won that game. But you can't have any weird things happen like in this one. Like, you got to stick a fork in them. And if they lose this game, and if it looks bad enough, I promise you, heads will roll. We already see the turmoil going on the sideline there. DK Metcalf pointing at Geno Smith, wanting Geno Smith to come in over Russell, the guy that's put DK under his wing. Oh, man, like, this is the time, y'all. This is the time. This is the time for the 49ers to really put their foot on their throat. And this game, a win here, it's not just a win. I think it symbolizes potentially the end of an era with the Seattle Seahawks. And not to be dramatic and stuff like that, but no, seriously. It's getting bad. I think this is the time. 49ers got to take advantage of it. It's almost like they want the 49ers to, like, just put me out of my misery. Like, they want that. They're waiting for that. They need that. And the 49ers need that. And now you just got to go in there and you got to bully them. Now, again, I don't know what the 49ers top prices are. It's not going to be easy. You're down Deebo Samuel. You're down Fred Warner. You're missing guys. It's not going to be easy. But we know how the 12s is going to get. Like, from what I've been hearing, the 12s they're not happy about it. That one guy, I can't wait to tweet him. I'm hoping I get to. I have the tweets queued up. I have like 2 tweets right now ready to go in my drafts for the moment that clock hits 0. All 49ers have to do is win. I'm so upset it got flexed out. Some of our fans are sleeping on Wilson, who can easily turn the page and look like Russell Wilson. He has been owning this for a while now. And that's what I'm afraid of. Because even, I mean, look at the Washington game. For how bad it was throughout that game, all of a sudden, Russell Wilson flipped that switch when it was time. when it was go time, and he drove him down the field. And we've seen that. Obviously we saw that in the game earlier this year. I remember 2019, even the 49ers won in Seattle. 49ers won in Seattle, but he made it a game. 49ers were up like double digits that game. 49ers should have won, like easily. Jimmy Garoppolo, that was as sharp as I've ever seen him. I believe he completed 18 out of 22 passes in that game. One of his misses was just a drop by Matt Breida. Like Jimmy was sharp. He was on. And still, somehow, it took an amazing tackle from Dre Greenlaw to win. These dudes just don't go away. And they're not going to go away against the 49ers. They're going to be up for it. They know the 49ers. When you get to these divisional matchups, anything can happen. This is one that it's always going to worry me. Anytime you play the Seahawks and they have Russell Wilson. Now, they got Geno Smith. All right. But Russ doesn't really miss games. Matter of fact, he missed his first NFL game until this year. First time he ever missed a game in all these years. It's so crazy. But they have this like voodoo spell over the 49ers. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm feeling like it's coming to an end. I'm feeling like it's coming to an end. All right. But enough of me talking about it. That was one of the main things I wanted to touch on today. I did want to talk a little bit about the secondary because that seems to be a topic. All right. And there was some not news, but just some love shown to Emmanuel Mosley. And I'm reading the comments and they hate Josh Norman. Now, again, we went on this rant recently. Not me, but me. I went on a rant about Josh Norman. But let me look up the exact thing I saw on Instagram with, there we go, one Emmanuel Mosley and how well he's playing. Because for whatever reason, I don't know why everybody hates our secondary so much. I don't know. I'm not saying they're great. All right. I'm not saying the 49ers secondary is great. But they're not nearly as bad as everybody. And it's just like this. It's like, let's just get to the tweet. I mean, the message. All right. So RSF 49ers tweeted out, cornerback Emmanuel Mosley has given up 0 touchdowns on 51 coverage snaps this season. That's not right. He definitely has way more than 51 coverage snaps. So however many coverage snaps he has, Emmanuel Mosley has given up 0, maybe it's 0 targets. So maybe Emmanuel Mosley has given up 0 touchdowns on 51 targets. We'll say that this season. Second only behind Tre'Davious White. Now, again, I'll repeat. Emmanuel Mosley has given up 0 touchdowns on 51, I'm going to say targets. All right, Tre'Davious White, that's the only person that has done better. Now, the comments, right? So you go to the comments, you read the comments, and just right away, the one thing that everybody's saying, there's 2 things, right? There's 2 things. And it's just like, what is going on with this fan base and tearing down the secondary? So, Emmanuel Mosley, he's playing awesome. He's doing terrific. The comments in here, yeah, but how many pass interferences? Yeah, but how many times are they calling pass interference? Well, how many times has he been PI'd? How many times has he been PI'd? How many times? I mean, just so many. I don't know how many comments there are in here, but I'd be willing to bet that there's probably over 100 that are asking how many times. I think I can look this way, right? How can I look? 231 comments. I'd say out of the 231 comments in this Instagram post, I'd say out of 231 comments, by 100 asking how many pass interferences Mosley is called for. And it's like, why is that the first thing that people jump to? You have Emmanuel Mosley, he's playing at a really good level. Like, he's playing very well. He's a legit starting cornerback in the NFL. And why is the first thing that 49er fans jump to is, well, yeah, but how many pass interferences? Well, the answer to that is 2. He's been called for 2 pass interferences all year. 2. But like, so the fact that he's only been called for 2 pass interferences, why is that the first thing that people jump to with Emmanuel Mosley? Why can't they just say, damn, Mosley playing very well, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's good. But it's like, nah, man, how many pass interferences is being called for? Well, two. Two for 51 yards. All right, two for 51 yards. Which the yardage part of it isn't great, but two penalties, 51 yards. So now, again, I said there were two things that everybody was saying. Here's the other one, which really they're kind of still diminished how well Emmanuel Mosley is playing. So it went from, well, I mean, Patrick Ferris and Emmanuel Mosley. And it went to, well, the only reason why he's doing so good is because everybody's targeting Josh Norman. It's like, so now he can only be good because of who's on the other side. Are we going to use that argument for everybody else? Now let's talk about Josh Norman. All right. And I pulled up some numbers and I don't have them up in front of me. I wish I did. I should have them up. I have all these things like ready for arguments because, obviously I felt like the 49 secondary isn't as bad as everybody says, but Josh Norman has been flagged 6 times, which is not, it's not even, it's not top 10 in penalties. All right. Now, again, Norman has started down there every game. I think he didn't start week 1. There might have been one other game he missed. All right. But he's not top 10 in penalties. But you tell everybody else he just sucks. And if I had to guess, I don't think he's given up as many catches as everybody thinks. Because when you look at the comments and how they're talking about Josh Norman, a lot of things that people are saying with Josh Norman, he stays getting roasted. He's always getting roasted. Well, every other play is getting roasted. No, he's not. Now I don't have numbers in front of me, but I go on limb and say he gave up 2 catches against the Vikings. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd say 2 catches. Josh Norman. Y'all let me know how many catches because I see my guy Josh. No, it's not Josh. Here we go. Noah. He says Mosley has 3 PIs, 2 versus Indy, 1 versus Green Bay. All right. Okay. So Mosley has 3 penalties. I thought it was 2. Okay, 3. Still not bad, right? That's not like terrible. All right. Now, if somebody can pull up how many receptions Josh Norman gave up against the Vikings, because I don't think it's a high number. But again, now we're talking about he's giving up how many drop back passes? How many times did Kirk Cousins drop back to pass? Let's look at this. All right, let's see. Kirk Cousins stats. Let's take a look at it. All right, I'm looking for his game log. And I'm trying to go to his game log against the San Francisco 49ers. Here it goes. So he attempted 32 passes. He took 1 sack. So he dropped back 33 times. So out of 33 dropbacks, 33, I'm guessing, well, let's say Norman was involved in 4 passes, right? And that's me. I don't know. I'm just going to say 4. Is that always burnt? Is that always toasted? Is that always like getting whooped? You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to just bring a different perspective here. If y'all want to give up Norman, just dog him, whatever, go ahead. But I don't think it's nearly as bad as everybody makes it seem. Now, am I saying that Norman is great? Am I saying he's good? Am I saying that the 49ers can potentially do better? I'm not saying that. Am I saying he's shut down? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm also saying it's not as bad as people think. It's not as bad. Again, it's not as bad. And I'll take, okay, if you're going to give up a couple catches a game, if you're going to give up, you're going to have a penalty against you, can you make an impact? And he's punching out 7 passes and also has an interception. Okay, here we go. So, Noah, man, you've been awesome. I appreciate you in the chat. Josh Norman was targeted 6 times and gave up 3 catches for 63 yards. Again, that's like the yards are gonna come, right? When you have Kirk Cousins and you have Justin Jefferson who's been eating everybody up, and you got our guy, why am I blanking on that? Adam Thielen. Like, it could be way worse. 3 catches, 63 yards. And again, I'm not saying he's shut down. But 3 catches, okay, 63 yards. You don't want to give up 20 yards a catch. All right. There must have been a big one in there. Definitely the one, Matter of fact, the big one was to Justin Jefferson, I'm sure. I don't know how big of a play that was. Let's see if I can pull up the stats here. Let's see. Full box score. And see how big I want to see how big the receiving longest Justin Jefferson. So 30 yards. So I'm pretty sure that was the play that was 30 yards. So half of his yards came on one catch. Not ideal that you don't want to give up that many yards, but saying you can do worse, especially when okay, I give up 3 catches, 60 yards. All right, but also punch a ball out. Also, okay, 50% completion against me. That's not bad for a cornerback. If you give up 3 catches out of 6 targets, that's not bad. You don't want to give up 60 yards. I'd say 40 would be a little bit more acceptable. But also on top of that, he punched the ball out. So again, he's giving you an opportunity to take the ball away. He's done that consistently. Like that's consistent. It's not just something that just happens here and there. He's always punching at the ball. So at some point, that ball is going to come out. He might force 14 fumbles before the season's over. All right. I don't want to put on a cape for Josh Norman. I'm not saying that he's great. I'm not saying he's shut down. But what I'm saying is he's not as bad as everybody thinks. And it's crazy that in a game, in a post for Emmanuel Mosley, saying Emmanuel Mosley's doing well, all the responses for the most part were negative. Like, what are we doing as a fan base, 49ers? In a post that Mosley's doing well, everybody's either trying to tear him down for whatever reason or tear down Josh Norman.